In 2016, Ahfad University for Women in the Sudanese capital celebrates its 50th anniversary. So this is a golden opportunity for me, Zainab Badawi, to tell you more about an institution which was established and is run by members of my family. At the turn of the last century, my great-grandfather Sheikh Badri pioneered female education in Sudan. And despite local opposition from traditional quarters, he established the first school for girls in Sudan. In the teeth of opposition, he persisted in his efforts. More schools were established, and then in 1966, Ahfad College for Women was founded by his son Yusuf Badri. In 1995, it became Ahfad University for Women. At last, all those years of hard work pay off for this crop of new graduates at Ahfad. This is the ceremony that officially commemorates their transition from student to professional. They'll be striking out and serving their communities, their countries, and making their mark in the world.
It is for us, once graduated, become change agents in our communities, within our families, in whatever career choice we choose.
I'm here to find out a bit more about Ahfad University for Women, and I wondered if you could tell me a little bit about it.
Right. Well, what we do usually is that when they reach their 5th year, we give them a course on career development, because it's not in the philosophy of Ahfad University that we, churn out doctors or managers or psychiatrists or whoever else. We actually do want them to go back into their communities, some of them back to their countries, and be the change agents that they were trained to be.
So you're actually training young leaders, in a sense, women who go back to their communities. They're not just outsiders coming in with big ideas.
Absolutely, they are embedded within their culture. Just by looking at the class, I've got people from Gambia, Tanzania, Somalia, Eritrea, Ethiopia. They come from far and wide.
I'm from Nigeria. I just graduated recently from the School of Health Sciences Dietetics option. My plan right now is to further my education, to further develop my knowledge and skills in the area of nutrition, then return back to my home country and work with the Ministry of Health to tackle issues relating to malnutrition.
I work in a company called Dal Motors Company. It's part of Dal Group, one of the largest companies in Sudan. It's operated across 6 sectors. I can tell that my journey in Ahfad didn't only give me the degree. It gave me the capabilities, skills, strengths, and helped me how to know to be confident, and it told me how to plan successfully for my career and to reach what I am today.
I'm from India. I studied over here from the School of Management Studies. I just graduated this year. I got distinction with the 91%, and now I'm planning to search a good job over here, as my family is over here in Sudan, so I will be continuing in Sudan. So I'm just looking for a good job for me.
I know firsthand what the pioneering efforts of Babakir Badri mean. I grew up with female relatives who, if they were alive today, would be well over 100, and yet they could all read and write. I grew up with aunts who had degrees and postgraduate degrees from universities from all over the world. He began a revolution in Sudan, and through the work of Ahfad University for Women, it stands today as a towering example, not only for countries in Africa, but much further afield. It's not hard to see the pride, confidence and self-respect the young women derive from their time at Ahfad. And at the epicenter of all that goes on at Ahfad is the university's president, my uncle Gasim Badri. who's held in great affection and regard by students and staff alike. In terms of Babikir Badri's mission and vision to see female education in Sudan, do you think that battle has been won in the country?
Yes, by and large, yes. But still, women, girls' education lags behind boys, especially in lower schools, and because of early marriage.
So you have 7,500 students here,
Yeah.
And not all of them have to pay tuition fees, is
No.
that right?
Right. You see, we have students coming from different parts of Sudan. We have two kinds of scholarships. One scholarship is given to students coming from specific areas of the Sudan, like Nuba Mountains, like Darfur, like before the South Sudan, Eastern Sudan, all these areas of Sudan which we are called marginalized population.
I'm from Nuba Mountain, West South Sudan. I got the scholarship, and the scholarship means a lot to me. It's mean that I need to study hard, because there are people that paying my money so that I can get a better future and better education. And it also helped me that to like push myself harder and keep doing the good job so that I can move forward for the bright future.
As well as taking majors in their chosen subjects, all students are given lessons in citizenship, in sexual and reproductive health rights. They return to their villages, towns and cities and spread the word about best practice and the importance of opposing harmful traditions like FGM and early marriage. In this way, the young women are encouraged to use their education for the greater good. In 2016, Ahfad turns 50, but there's no middle-aged complacency for it. There are plans to establish a much-needed teaching hospital on the university grounds attached to the medical faculty. Limiya Al-Hassan was a medical student at Ahfad herself and now heads the School of Medicine.
I'm a graduate of this school, the first batch. We graduated, we were only 33. But now the last batch to graduate in last April were 135. So each year there's an increase actually related to the student increase intake.
In what way would the establishment of a teaching hospital help you here?
We need actually a proper setup of a teaching hospital, because our students now are trained in nearby hospitals, and these are also being used by students from other medical schools and faculties. So there is overcrowding, and so if we have a proper teaching hospital, we would offer quality medical care to the communities, and it would also provide proper training and also be a base for research services.
So Mauludata, you're from Nigeria, and are you enjoying your time here?
Yes, I am, and I am enjoying my time here. I've been here for 3 years now, and I just finished my third year. And we are going to start fourth year by July, inshallah.
What kind of doctor do you want to be?
I've not decided yet, but I'm thinking maybe gynecologist to help my country, because we have shortage of female doctors, and we need a lot more female doctors in my country.
And a top Sudanese businessman, Anis Haggar, is leading the charge on fundraising for the grand project to build the teaching hospital.
They brought me in from the bazaar to help on the business side. So you've got this combination of people who've spent their lives teaching in the academic field and so on, and they brought in a guy from the bazaar. We will be working together to make this thing sustainable. The question is sustainable. The ugly word is profitable, but we want it to be sustainable, and I foresee a mix of commercial business on strictly business terms, combination with corporate social responsibility, and a combination with philanthropy. It's a dynamic mix.
But it's not a profit-making institution you want to establish.
I use the word sustainability. We need to be here this time next year. We need to be able to buy spare parts. We need to buy, there is a continuing and probably increasing expense. I do not want to keep going back to the same donors and the goodwill people and saying, look, will you pay the rent? We need a leg up, as they say, and then we need to go together.
So as I understand it, you're going to have some patients who are going to pay for their health care privately in order to fund the public provision. Just tell us a bit more how that's going to work.
We will have a private wing where people who are able to pay for their service will pay. This will go towards the expenses and the normal running things, the salaries and everything else that goes with it.
You've actually commissioned a feasibility study. How did you go about doing that?
The study was undertaken by a company called International Hospital Group. They are internationally renowned. They're retained by the World Bank. They have a competence and a track record in Africa and the rest of the world. And it's actually a privilege to have them on our side, to have had them do the studies. And they will hold our hand as we go to market looking for funds. We want this to be something that all of Africa is proud of, not just the Sudan, not just Ahfad. It will be a beacon on this continent.
In 2014, Ahfad received a Human Rights Award from a European Union delegation, a well-deserved honour for a pioneering institution that lies near the historic River Nile. Ahfad has weathered many storms, but now looks forward to an even brighter future, especially the development of the teaching hospital. As I visit Ahfad today, I can't help but be proud of my great-grandfather's vision and the dedication of my family in Sudan over the decades. We welcome all support in building further on our achievements.
مولاتنا يا بلدنا في كم جهدنا يا بلدنا نفخر بيه